Adam on the right, again, Star City Games Open Series.
We're doing this cool
Indianapolis
thing where they're
champion.
waiting on us and we're waiting on them.
Yeah,
You see
like
that for a second there?
Yeah.
It's like you know, you're watching the news and there's like the guy on the scene or whatever, and they're like, all right, Bob, like what's going on out there? And he's got his hand in his ear, and it always takes the guy a second.
Yeah, it's like super awkward.
Yeah, it's like, so Bob, what's going on? And then there's like beat. Yeah, Chuck, all right, down here there's some Magic the Gathering going on, cavern naming humans and Pilgrim in play.
Overgrown Tomb untapped from Darren. And we're going to see an Arbor Elf here from him, so he does have one of his accelerators here. 2 Arbor Elves in this deck list, which has become pretty stock now, thanks to Reduke and Owen Turnbull. So we see Adam's hand. He has, you know, Celestial Charm. He has a Plains here. He's got Navison's Pilgrim, and you're going to see a Frontline Medic join the party.
Medic!
Again, Adam, a Star City Games Open Series Indianapolis champion with this exact deck. So knows it in and out and is clearly winning again as he's 6-0. And in the feature match area looking to move on to 7-0. And this was a deck, AJ, that you felt was pretty well placed in the metagame right now.
Yes, for sure. I won't go too far into it since I did do quite a bit of ranting earlier, but it is basically a Naya Humans deck, but it's slightly bigger. And what I mean by that is it has a little higher of a curve. You know, you're pushing more 3 and 4 drops. In exchange for much higher creature quality. You're sacrificing a little of the speed because you're not playing as many of the aggressive 1-drops, such as the Ooze. What's the Ooze called? Experiment 1. You're not playing Experiment 1, but in exchange for that extra time that you might give some matchups, you are very well prepared. Wow, look at this blowout. Abrupt Decay, Frontline Medic, blink it. That is brutal.
You're going to see the Restoration Angel we put on the stack here. And this is why, you know, when playing against this deck, and Darren may not know Adam or what deck that Adam typically plays. You know, he may have been thinking he was playing against a Blitz deck, as you are going to see a Tragic Slip.
That's extra awkward because nothing's died.
Nothing has died. And I think Adam says...
Things are about to get a little weird.
Yeah. I think Darren is going
literally empty graveyards.
Yeah, I think Darren is going to realize his mistake in a moment here. Yep, so the blink resolves, and yep, those both go away, and nothing happens.
Wow.
So Darren,
not the best use of Tragic Slip I've ever seen, but you know, maybe Darren's looking at his hand. He's like, "Dude, my draw is so good. I need to give this guy a chance."
Well, with a hand of Stomping Grounds, Farseek, and Thragtusk, with the Bonfire of the Damned, I don't think that's going to be the case, but wishful thinking nonetheless.
I'm trying to help him out. As we Farseek here, I'll continue my thought of, even though you're sacrificing some speed for the decks where you want to kill them as fast as possible, in the creature mirrors against the other Naya decks, say Blitz, your creatures are a lot better, and you can simply win combats. You know, they can't attack into your bigger guys, they can't really block your bigger guys, and you just gain a huge advantage that way. And that is exactly what Adam has been doing for in Indy and here.
Stomping Ground for Adam is actually going to finally give him an actual green source of mana if he needed one. You see a Nearhearth Pilgrim in his hand. He's also going to have some mana here. Probably going to be for that Pilgrim, but he might readjust here. But he's going to Soul Bond there with the Restoration
relationship
Angel. And
with
here
Angel.
comes a Battalion trigger, making all of his guys indestructible, so Arbor Elf's not going to be able to do any good blocking. You're going to see Adam gain at least 3 life. And you see a very strong attack for 7 here. Darren going to move down to 9. And even if Darren were to top deck a Bonfire of the Damned, Frontline Medic is at the ready to use that unique ability to counter that.
The slightly tacked on feeling ability, is that just me?
No, it's not just you.
Okay.
No.
Thragtusk, usually pretty good against these, you know, aggressive creature decks, but it looks like it might be a little too late this game.
You know, one of the things that people worried about with Frontline Medic is you're going to see Darren go down to 7 up to 12. One of the things that people worried about with Frontline Medic was, are you actually going to be able to assemble the necessary creatures to make Battalion a reality, or is it just something that's kind of wishful thinking? But, you know, more often than not, you actually end up seeing Battalion be accomplished very, very easily in these white aggressive decks.
On turn 3, Frontline Medic can be attacking already with Battalion, thanks to Lightning Mauler. Like,
So some people were thinking, oh, maybe I have to pair it up with like a Midnight Haunting or a Lingering Souls to make like this dream a reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's actually just not very hard at all.
Yeah. No, you just play 2 creatures and then also the frontline medic.
Yeah. And, you know, they have to kill the frontline medic or things start to spiral out of control as they are right now, as Thragtusk is out here trying to stand tall, but actually just not doing anything.
Yeah.
This is one of the few times that Thragtusk looks very bad against opposing creatures, but we are currently in that place.
That is the reality in which we live.
Yes. You see Thragtusk is going to step in front of that Nearhearth Pilgrim. That is indestructible, and we'll see if the Arbor Elf is ever going to jump into the fray here. Adam's hand, of course, containing a Huntmaster of the Fells and a Selesnya Charm.
Selesnya Charm's pretty sweet. And as soon as you said, now he's got green mana for whatever he may need, I immediately looked at the deck list to see if there was anything. And sure enough, Selesnya Charm is the only non-human green spell.
And that's a card that I think people were expecting to see a lot more play moving forward, because it is so flexible and is so good, as most of the charms are that have been printed in this 10-charm cycle. This one, it has varied from being very good to kind of irrelevant back to being mediocre. I think it's a very nice one-up for these type of decks.
Yeah, it's okay right now. The problem with that slot is, you know, you're basically using it for +2/+2 a good percentage of the time. Like, removing a 5 on an Angel of Serenity is okay. Thragtusk is not that good. Well, here's a Bonfire, and hope he doesn't realize what Frontline Medic does.
And here is your Bonfire of the Damned. You're going to see him cast a Selesnya Charm here, actually. Selesnya Charm's just going to save that. He's just going to let the other guys go.
Okay. That's one way to do it.
I'm a little bit surprised by that, but at the same time, it also does make a little bit of sense to me, because I think that he feels that his Frontline Medic is so good that he wants that in play.
Well, he literally has lethal.
Did he have lethal otherwise?
The Angel plus the Selesnya Charm is 5 in the air.
Well, then I think your play might have been a little bit better.
All right, so, you know, these guys playing a little fast and loose.
That's why you, big bucks, me, small timer.
Is that what we are?
I actually missed that interaction altogether, but here comes the Angel. Gonna knock Darren down to 2, and so now he doesn't play the Huntmaster of the Fells either. So yeah, Adam just missed that one.
I mean, Darren, you know, doing the right thing, playing to his outs.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
there's
no
no
reason
reason.
to know what his cards do.
Yeah, there's no reason to concede the game. Where, you know, you just play your cards and hope the opponent maybe makes a mistake.
And
that's
now
what
he
he's
has
done
an
here.
Olivia.
Yeah, and now
This
he has
game might actually just turn around here.
Yeah, he has an Olivia Valderin. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 7 mana. His other card that he just drew is a Huntmaster of the Fells. You're going to see Darren cast Olivia Valderin and pass the turn back. And, you know, Adam has been holding on to a couple of cards here. Maybe he's supposed to cast one of those.
So we're looking at 3 Searing Spears and 2 Boros Charms for lethal burn spells.
Immediately.
And one of his 2 other Restoration Angels here would be lethal, past the Olivia. And beyond that, it's just buying time, cards that buy time for those spells, I think.
There's a Champion of the Parish, and now you're going to see a Huntmaster of the Fells make that champion into a 2/2. Adam's going to gain 2 life. He's going to put a Wolf into play, but, you know, this is where you start to see...
Oh, I guess a Huntmaster flip would also work.
Yeah, I mean, that would work, except for that Olivia Valderin that's ready to shoot things down. Now, Adam did play his cards incredibly fast there. You know, maybe Darren wanted to shoot down that champion with the Human Trigger on the stack. We don't know. Maybe that's still on the stack, but it doesn't look like it is.
Quite a mind trick there.
Yeah, he played his spells very quickly. You see, he's going to shoot the Olivia. Excuse me, he's going to shoot with Olivia, targeting the Restoration Angel. So that is a vampire in addition. Darren draws what looks to be a Murder to go along with that Huntmaster of the Fells. Murder could be pretty timely.
Murder Huntmaster's a good turn here.
Yeah. Murder Huntmaster is actually a very good turn.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a land would have been good, because then you can go Huntmaster and also double ping the Huntmaster. Yeah. But Murder, I mean, it just does the same thing, right? But, like, you get to kill Frontline Medic instead, and then kill the Huntmaster at your leisure.
He also gets to push himself with 4 life, which cuts off Searing Spears, and now a card that Adam has 3 copies of in his deck, so it makes it so that Adam is drawing 2 Boros Charms to win the game. But also the other thing to keep in mind too, AJ, is that, you know, there is that Frontline Medic there, so maybe it's a situation where he wants to murder that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Murder allows you to do the Frontline Medic, and then even if Adam tries to, like, you can murder it now so it doesn't get angeled, and even if Adam tried to pass and flip his Huntmaster, you can shoot the Huntmaster twice with the Olivia with the trigger on the stack, and then your Huntmaster flips and his is dead.
Yeah.
Which is like probably game.
Yeah, I think that you have to cast this murder now, especially with what happened earlier in this game, where he tried to.
You could also just upkeep it, I guess, to prevent it from getting angeled, and also keep Huntmasters from flipping.
That's also acceptable. Yeah.
With Adam having no cards, that is totally an acceptable line.
With the trouble that Darren walked into with the Abrupt Decay, he's got to know to use these removal spells correctly. Of course, Adam has no cards in his hand, but he does have Restoration Angels in his deck, and you're going to see an attack here. And this is a little bit surprising.
Well, yeah. Hold on. Attacker step.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna want to cast this murder. Is what Darren's thinking.
Moida.
Probably gonna want to kill this.
Moida.
Probably gonna want to kill this frontline medic. This card's already been a pain. It should have been dead a long time ago from the Abrupt Decay.
It should have won you the game, but it's got this tacked-on ability that no one knows about,
including
the guy that won an open with the card.
Gotta get that out of here.
Queen's pick, this is your last call for commander number 4.
And remember that this game started with throw away a Tragic Slave.
Yeah, I mean, Darren is making a pretty nice comeback
No
here.
kidding. Well, that's what happens when your deck is full of super high-impact spells. He's literally played just like one spell a turn, and it's been an awesome card.
So no Huntmaster flip will take place. Darren's going to untap. He's going to draw. Is this a bonfire? Okay, all right. Just a Dragon Skull Summit. I mean, still pretty darn good because it allows Olivia to be able to shoot 4 times now.
Yep.
So now Olivia can fully take over this game.
Or steal the Angel. That is also an option. I mean, just throwing it out there, but probably just going to machine gun down Adam's board.
So it looks like Darren is going to pass the turn back is what... I see some motioning here.
Active player, non-active players type stuff with the Huntmaster triggers,
Yeah.
I believe, I have to assume is what's being discussed.
So there's some gesturing going back and forth here about what's going to happen.
The answer is the active players goes on first, and then the non-active player goes on top of it, and the stack resolves, front down.
Number 3, I need
So
and Niles
the
Backstrom.
active
Standard
player's
Wheelhouse number
Huntmaster
3.
would die before it gets to flip.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter because Olivia's just shooting it.
Yeah, Olivia's just going to town right now. You're going to see an attack here with a Thrag Tusk. Pretty safe to get that guy in there now. You're also going to see the Wolf Token come in as well.
Sure.
Wolf Token can attack because if Restoration Angel does block, he can double shoot it. But you're going to see Wolf Token hang back. Thrag Tusk is going to come across, steal Adam 5, put him down to 18. He's going to draw a card. He draws another frontline medic to go along with that Sacred Foundry. And now you see the frontline medic come into play, and Olivia is now going to take this game over. And if you're Darren, you don't know that Adam has Boros Charm in his deck, most likely. But you have to have a feeling of, I need to get this game over with because he's still playing.
Yes. And even if you don't assume that Boros Charm, it's still like, 2 spears or whatever. Like, you are never not in striking distance at this point.
You have to get this game over with. As Ravager of the Fells did flip, Darren's going to draw a card. He draws, it's a mystery.
It's like the mystery flavor Dum Dum Lollipop.
That's never been good before, mystery flavor. Always tastes bad.
You know how it is, right? It's 2 flavors mixed together.
Well, that's not okay. As we do see
It's not okay.
these guys coming across here. Olivia is huge. Ravager of the Fells, huge. Wolf Token, Thrag Tusk. Adam realizes it needs to start blocking somewhat here, so he does put the frontline medic there. He puts the Restoration Angel. All right, it's gonna put it in front of Olivia.
Yep.
So, Adam is going to take 9, and let's see if that angel, that medic is gonna go bye-bye. And let's see if Darren drew a spell that gains him life. Yeah, yeah, he sure did. And Adam is going to pick it up. Boros Charm wasn't out, but that door is closed. And Derek Rucker, after a little bit of shaky play at the beginning, pulls it out off of the back of Olivia Voldaren.
Judge Michael Combs to the
One
stage,
nice
please.
spell.
Judge Michael Combs.
We've been
to
talking
the
about
stage,
impact
please.
all night. That one has quite an impact against these creature decks.
That one can do some things.
Yes.
Yes, it can. So both players maybe a little bit nervous under the lights there. Adam, misstepping with his frontline medic.
I mean, the missing frontline medic's ability is like a pretty common mistake.
Yeah.
Because it's so tacked on and so strange, and like Bonfire is like this XX spell.
Yeah.
It's
You often think of, with Frontline Medic, you often think of like that's the card that's going to be used to counter
the
Sphinx
battalion.
You think of it as Battalion and the card that's going to counter Sphinx Revelation.
Yeah.
You kind of forget that it can also counter Bonfire the Damned, and there are some other things that it can
Rakdos
counter as well.
Return.
Yeah, Rakdos Return. You know, you're so pigeonholed on just thinking, yeah, I'm going to counter the Sphinx Revelation as soon as it happens that
Yeah.
mistakes happen.
Magic's a hard game. People don't give it credit.
Nobody said it's easy. Not as easy as, say, chess.
Checkers.
Chess was actually the answer. Sorry. Checkers is a very difficult game that only masters like myself can play.
Masters, he says.
Adam, you have his sideboard in front of you. What can he do to turn things around?
Well, a Zealous Conscripts, another Boros Charm, some Reckoners, and Garruk Relentless. I don't know, not too much like specified Jund stuff. He also has Oblivion Ring, which may be his Olivia answer.
Okay. I think he has the board, and just because Olivia is such a problem for him.
Yeah, I agree. So you have the O-Ring, probably the Conscripts, and maybe the Boros Charm. Probably the Boros Charm.
I mean, he was trying to draw to win that entire game. It may have been. Boros Charm's kind of interesting because like it can be really good and really bad. Like the indestructible part of it can be really good to counter Bonfire. You know, just dealing 4 up to the Nug would have actually won him that particular game if he was able to draw one in time. But there are also situations where I think it can be pretty poor as well. It seems like it's kind of a high variance card in this matchup.
I agree.
I don't know if it's a card that you want to have 3 of in your deck after sideboard, because you know how many of those do you actually want to draw?
Probably just one.
So maybe you leave it at 2, but I mean I can see an argument for bringing in the 3rd one as well.
It depends on like what he wants to bring out, which I'm looking, and I mean all of his cards are okay. Like Nearheath Pilgrims aren't great.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want those in anymore.
So he's got 3 of those. Take those out for 2 Oblivion Rings and a Conscripts. And then what do you cut after that? Silverblade Paladin?
Yeah, I mean Silverblade's a little bit underwhelming in this matchup.
Thalia's still fine, right?
I mean, it's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. I mean, when you know that your opponent has Tragic Slip in their deck, it makes you want to not play it a little bit more. You know, if you're Adam when you're on the play, Thalia's pretty good in this matchup, so you probably want to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, if I was Adam and I was on the draw, I'd probably want to move it to the board just because its effectiveness on the draw against most decks, but including Jund, you know, it goes down substantially.
Especially when you're bringing in Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, especially when you're bringing in spells. So, just something for him to consider. As far as Darren's side, taking a look at things, he has a Victim of Night and a Dreadboard he can bring in. He also has an additional Bonfire of the Damned, but a lot of his sideboard is not geared towards beating, you know, a deck like this, because, you know, most Jund decks, because they have so much removal, are pretty good here against these types of decks.
It's all slight upgrades to like 2 or 3 spells.
And the easy thing for him is that he can actually just board out these ground seals to board in the removal spells.
There you go, nice and clean.
The rest of his sideboard, he has 3 copies of Duress, 2 Slaughter Games, 2 Witchbane Orbs, 2 Acidic Slimes, a Staff of Man, a Rakdos Return, and a Grafdigger's Cage. Again, cards that aren't really very useful in this matchup, but that Victim of Night, that Dreadboard, that Bonfire are certainly going to come in, and we'll probably see 2 ground seals move out to the sideboard, and then probably a Rakdos Return, one of the 2 that he has, but it could be the Garruk Primal Hunters that leave as well.
I think it's Rakdos Return. Primal Hunter is still fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's situation dependent, but it's okay. It is a way for him to draw into more of the, you know, that Thrag, Tusk, Huntmaster, life gain stuff, so that once he does stabilize, he can't get burned out by a Boros Charm or a Searing Spear.
Exactly.
Maybe even find himself in Olivia Valdarin. So, I think that
a shiny new Olivia Valdarin,
a brand new card. Da-da-da-da-da. You know who's terrible on that show? Drew Carey. Horrible host.
I haven't seen him host. I mean, I like Drew Carey a lot, so it's a shame if it's true.
You know, it's kind of weird, right? Like, remember when you're like home from school and you're sick, and it's just like, what are you doing when you're home from school? Price is Right immediately.
Yeah.
It's like the first
Wheel
thing you turn
Fortune
on.
and Price is Right all day.
Yeah, Family Feud, like you just turn those on immediately. Now that I'm
Game
like,
Show Network is like the greatest thing.
and now that I'm like 26, like I didn't realize that Price is Right was even on anymore. It just came on after one of the NCAA games, like. It's just like, I just saw like Drew Carey with the big wheel, and I'm like, wow, I forgot this show was a thing. Yeah. And I just turned it off immediately, because it was horrible.
All right, Space Invaders.
Growing up sucks.
How would you know?
What are you talking about? I'm an adult. You hear me?
Don't lie to the people.
Adam and Darren are both going to keep. Adam is going to lead off with a Temple Garden, but most importantly, no one drop, no champion or anything
That is
like that.
pretty big. It's less important from Adam's build than it is from the Experiment one deck that has the Experiments and Boros Elites.
Yeah.
You know,
The Blitz version needs a one drop.
yeah, this version, like Pilgrim is pretty good on one, but not vitally important. And Champion, obviously good, but again, you're not trying to aggro them out as hard as the Blitz decks, so it's less important. And we were just talking about boarding out the Nearheath Pilgrims, and yet he has one on turn 2.
They still are in his deck. Maybe he just wants to be able to ensure that he does have a 2-drop, even if it's a crappy one. You know, because he only has 7 1-drops, or 8 1-drops in his deck, excuse me. That he wants to be able to put creatures on the board, as he's going to play another one here in Silverleaf Paladin. He's going to partner up. He's going to gain 4 and deal 4. But
which trigger?
Yeah, which
Is he
Soul
gonna
Bond
Soul
trigger?
Bond with?
More important than any of that stuff is that Darren has a Farseek on turn 2.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely huge.
Of the things that have happened this game, the most important of them is that Darren has a Farseek on turn 2 to be able to keep up and play his cards ahead of schedule, as you're going to see a Mizium Mortars here take out the Silverblade Paladin.
The split card of Terror and Plague Wind is going to go with Terror this time.
We do see a Cavern of Souls here, likely going to name human. You see in Adam's hand, he has his Zealous Conscripts. He also has another Nearheath Pilgrim.
God, that card is so bad.
Yeah, I don't love it in this matchup. I mean, I understand wanting to keep it in just to be able to curve out, but it does not have a huge impact on this matchup.
I
as
agree.
You are going to see a front line Medic.
Medic?
And that's gone. Abrupt Decay takes care of that. Darren's going to move down to 14, I think 16.
No
Not
Restoration
14.
Angel shenanigans this time.
Yeah, get rid of that thing. As you see, Darren does draw a card, Dragon Skull Summit. You see
Hey,
Olivia Vold.
Mommy's
Darren,
home.
You also see an Acidic Slime in Darren's hand, which I'm a little bit surprised that he brought that in. Maybe he knows that Adam has Oblivion Ring.
I was about to say that. It's got to be Oblivion Ring.
And he's going to need one right now.
Which is why you're playing that first instead of the Slime a Land, you know, so that you can play and shoot. That's like a pretty human thing to do, right?
Yeah.
You want to shoot and get value out of it. But Adam's only real answer besides Searing Spear is Oblivion Ring. And he doesn't have the spear, so...
So he can try to bait out the Oblivion Ring, and then Acidic Slime would blow it up. No reason to use your Acidic Slime as a 5-mana land destruction spell. Adam did play a Kessig Wolf run, and he did attack with no pumps there from him, so maybe he's trying to bluff something. But I don't know how well that's going to work. It does give Darren an Acidic Slime target that's actually worth something now.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think he's just going to want to start shooting away with that Olivia.
For sure. Well, it looks like he's eyeing that wolf run over there.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Darren, I would take a moment to step back here and just consider the ramifications of actually Acidic Sliming that wolf run. The main reason being is that if that wolf run was actually useful, I think Adam would have loaded up onto it last turn.
That is possible. But again, how low are you willing to go, right? How much life are you willing to spend to continue developing your board?
The answer is not very much.
Here we're gonna see Angel, and then if he draws a land, Conscripts.
Yeah, we could see into Conscripts here to take that Olivia Voldaren and give the beatdowns. You see a pairing between the Restoration Angel and the Nearheath Pilgrim, so there is some lifelink that's going on here. And you are going to see an attack here.
It's also a full another draw step for Adam to hit a Spear or a Garrick Relentless to kill the Olivia.
Yeah.
Another point worth stating when considering the options of Slime Wolf Run or leave up Olivia.
So Adam did offer up the trade with Nearheath Pilgrim versus Acidic Slime. Darren declined it.
An interesting decline.
Yeah, he's going to move himself down to 7. Again, I'm a little surprised there, too, about declining that trade. I mean, you know, again, you can make the argument for, you know, he has Olivia, so why would he trade when he doesn't need to? But I think that I want to just preserve my life total.
Exactly.
Darren's going to draw a card. He draws what looks to be a Tragic Slip. He's going to play his Kessig Wolf Run or his Forest. He's deciding between the two. Playing rather quickly here. I think, you know, again, if you're Darren, you almost lost game one because you were playing too quickly.
Yeah.
The Abrupt Decay and a Tragic Slip. And I think that he can just, you know, he's got pretty good firm grasp on this game. He just needs to take a deep breath, step back for a moment, and just take complete control of it.
Yes. I agree completely, and that is something that players need to do a little more is, you know, try and take themselves out of the game and then come back into it. You can get a fresh view of the game state, and it just calms your nerves, especially when you're like on camera, doing well in a tournament. You can get a little nervous, get a little jittery. Nothing wrong with taking a minute.
You see pilgrims are being shot down here now. You see that the force is going to come into play. He's probably going to shoot down this pilgrim. Then he can tragic slip away this restoration angel if he wants to, but you're going to see an attack here first. And the scary thing here is...
A land is lethal.
Yeah, a land is actually lethal.
Land is lethal. The Zealous Conscripts in Adam's hand represents 9 damage with that Olivia. And there it is.
And he draws a land. He can't conscripts fast enough. He's going to take that Olivia Voldaren. It's huge now when he didn't need to shoot on his main phase, and it's going to kill him.
Whoops.
And you see...
Game 3.
That is a 1-outer there by Adam. He has 1 Zealous Conscripts in his sideboard. Just needed a land to be able to finish the game off. Draws it and does win. And you can see Darren kind of, looking down, thinking, may have played that incorrectly.
There were a couple turns that Darren could have done differently that would have left him with pretty much an unwinnable or unlosable game state.
And you can see Adam on the right there thinking, I just got away with one.
Yeah.
My deck cannot beat Olivia Voldaren when it's in play and I don't kill it, especially when it has 3 counters on it. But a timely top deck sends this to a 3rd game between Darren Rucker and Adam Liu. If you guys are just joining us, Cedric Phillips, AJ Soccer in the booth here.
Yo.
We are in Kansas City. It's beginning to snow. That's why I don't live in the Midwest anymore. If you guys do want to tweet with us.
Pack your sneezies. Yeah, it's getting cold out.
Yeah, if you guys do want to interact with us, you can join us on Twitter at SCG Live, hashtag SCGKC. We're reading your tweets all day. We do promise you. We both have our phones and our computers out.
Yeah, every time we go to break, Sed and I don't even move. We don't even stand up. We just whip out our phones and start responding to you guys on Twitter.
That's right. We want to interact with all you guys that are watching our hopefully great coverage this weekend for you guys, as we do have round 7 in progress. Game 3 here between Adam Liu playing Naya Humans, SCG Open Series Indianapolis Standard Champion with this exact same deck, versus Darren Rucker playing Jund. And, depending on how each player's sideboards, what they want to do, I think the main thing to take away from this match, if you're, an up-and-coming player looking to get better, or, just someone who's established who's just looking to improve their game at some point, I think both players are playing very, very quickly.
Yes.
I would say almost too fast. I know you're a very methodical player. My pace of play varies quite a bit from, very quickly to, very slow, depending on, how game state is.
Yes.
But you are methodical all the time, always thinking everything through. And I think that both these players are playing at a much, almost too accelerated right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's 22 minutes left in the round, and they're going to game 3, If they had both, taken their time, we'd be maybe 4 minutes deeper into the round.
Yeah, and I think they'd be able to think their decisions through a little bit more. And, I think that Darren would have realized that, what can I lose to in this situation? What's the actual card that I lose to? Do I have a reason to main phase ping all of these guys? I mean, yes, I can attack for more damage, but that damage doesn't really matter all that much because you just can't beat Olivia.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if I'm attacking for 8 or 16 right now when my opponent's at 23 if he can't actually just beat the card that's in play.
It's a compacting series of errors, right? Like, he played the acidic slime before he should have, and then didn't block with it, which then dropped him to 7, which is like 2 burn spells range. So then he felt rushed to kill his opponent, and then played more riskily than he needed to. The errors compound there, right? Like, you're making a mistake to make up for your mistake, I guess, and that will leave you vulnerable. And Adam did have the card to punish Darren that game.
There's multiple ways Darren can really look at that game right now. As he's sideboarding, kind of looking around and shuffling it for game 3. He could think to himself, "Oh man, what a peel by Adam! I got pretty unlucky. Nothing I could do. My opponent peeled on me.
One copy, and he ripped the land.
Yeah, and he ripped the land. It's I'm so unlucky. There's the other way of looking at it, of kind of being reflective and thinking, what could I have done a little bit differently? I feel like I was in complete control of that game. I had Olivia that went unanswered for multiple turns. I had a Acidic Slime to take care of his Kessig Wolf run. What did I do wrong here? So, it'll be interesting to see how his play is this game. Does he keep a bad hand because he's a little bit frustrated? Does he continue playing as quickly as he has? Yeah, no Space Invaders here. As you do see an opening hand that does contain 2 Farseeks, Olivia Voldaren, a Bonfire of the Damned, and necessary lands to get rolling here. So, I mean, he definitely has a good start to this game as Adam is even taking a mulligan and Darren's keeping. You know, a thing that really does go underestimated in Magic, AJ, is just, you know, how to react after a loss like that where, you know, it's very easy just to say to yourself, man, I got one outer, unbelievable.
But how do you improve from that?
Yeah, you know, that's...
that doesn't make you a better player.
Yeah. You know, one thing, when people ask me for advice for Magic, the one thing that I try to tell anybody is just, you know, don't worry about the things that you can't control. You know, don't put your energy towards the things that you can't control. One thing you can't control is, you know, the top of your opponent's deck.
Yeah.
You know, how they're going to play for the most part. So you want to put your energy into things that you can control, about, you know, the way that you play, the way that you sideboard, deck construction, you know, the information that's out there and how you consume it. And so if Darren is able to, you know, kind of keep control of his emotions here and not worry about that last loss, even though, you know, from what we can see and you guys can see at home, he kind of gave that game away, you know, he can certainly still win. This is still a very good matchup for him.
Yes, I agree.
And his draw is very good right now, too. As we do see a Blood Crypt and go. Adam again with no 1-drop, no Champion or Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Which is a lot more significant on the draw, and a lot more significant when your opponent who's on the play has the Farseek.
Yeah, because as you said, Farseek on turn 2 on the play against a 1 permanent is a pretty big game.
Yeah.
You're going to see a Nearhearth Pilgrim here from Adam.
I'm shaking my head.
Hey, gotta hit that curve.
Piker, go.
Gotta hit that curve.
I'm actually very curious as to what he boarded out, if not the Pilgrim.
Actually, I am too now after looking at his deck list. It does seem
the rest of the cards seem pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it may have just been Thalia straight up instead of Pilgrim.
It is very possible.
You're going to see a second Farseek here from Darren. So Darren is accelerating very quickly. He's going to move himself up to 5 mana. And the
Seeking long and far.
Yeah, the important thing here is that now his Bonfire that's in his hand is completely reasonable to hardcast. Because you're going to see a Clifftop Retreat come into play on tap, and we are going to see
our best friend,
Frontline Medic.
Make relationship.
Facebook status has changed, in for 2 and deal 2, unless Darren chooses to Tragic Slip this here.
Or Decay, I guess he could have.
And one card that we do know is in Darren's hand is Dreadbore, and we're likely going to see that take care of the Frontline Medic here, unless he does have a Abrupt Decay right now. But I believe his hand is a Bonfire the Damned, a Dreadbore, an Olivia Voldaren, and a Tragic Slip, and that's exactly what it is.
Pretty good hand against the creature aggro deck.
Yeah, the mono creature deck.
Yeah.
And he does draw another card here. It looked to be a green one. But we're going to see Dreadbore take care of that Frontline Medic first and foremost. And that green card was an Arbor Elf.
Next best thing to a land.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, at this point, the Arbor Elf actually is the next best thing to a land, because not only does not only does it provide a blocker, but it also allows him to play Olivia Voldaren and shoot too.
Yep.
And there is your
reinforcements,
Frontline Medic, and your Avacyn's Pilgrim. Now, AJ, we're probably going to see an attack here with the Nearhearth Pilgrim. Before we do see that, and we actually don't, if Adam had attacked with Nearhearth Pilgrim,
you have to attack and you can't block.
Do you block with the?
I do not.
You do not? Not to turn on that.
I go to 16. Go to 16.
All right. I may have considered blocking there, turn on that Tragic Slip to kill that Frontline Medic.
You can just Bonfire for 1 and slip here.
Well, maybe that's what we're going to see.
Or if you draw a land, Olivia Ping Slip.
Okay.
I mean, there are better options. Like I'm fine. You know, his life total's high enough that I'm comfortable taking a little there.
There's your Olivia Voldaren, and here is
Victim of Night.
Victim of Night.
Well, that is also a pretty good draw.
And so that'll take care of the Frontline Medic, and now we have this situation again.
Again, I actually don't like that line, and I'm going to tell you why. I haven't said that much today, and one of the other times I said it, I was completely wrong.
Hey, it's a learning experience.
This is a situation where you can very reasonably play around, say, a Searing Spear on your Olivia that is otherwise going to completely take over the game. Instead, it gets Oblivion Ringed, as we see. But, I just like Bonfire for 1 Tragic Slip. Now Tragic Slip, he has to do a little work to make to turn the Tragic Slip on, whereas the Victim of Night just would always work.
Yeah.
And with 6 mana available to him, thanks to the Arbor Elf, he can play the Olivia and ping in the same turn, and all of a sudden it's a 4/4. It can't be speared forever.
Well, Darren kind of dodged a bullet here, as you are going to see. Looks like we're probably going to stab Bonfire for one now, but the reason I say dodged a bullet is because his draw step was an acidic slime to take care of that Oblivion ring.
Well, that's why he brought him in.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the reason that he brought him in, is because he can assume that the Humans deck does have that card. You see Bonfire for one take care of things. Here comes the Arbor Elf, not so scared now, as Adam has no cards in hand and no creatures in play, and he is living off the top of his deck. He's going to draw a card. He actually does have one card left.
I really wanted him to draw near his Pilgrim right there.
Yeah.
And well, Slime, Slip, Spell.
Yeah, that's his hand.
It's be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah. Acidic Slime is going... Wow.
Whoa. That is not what I expected.
That is not what I expected at all. Acidic Slime taking care of the Kessig Wolf run. Adam displays a Cavern Siege. Likely going to name Angel, as one is already naming Human.
I guess that's just fear, right? Like you're afraid of dying to maybe a Restoration Angel. You can't get Morbid on for your Slip. You take a couple hits, maybe get Conscripted.
That's the only
or Double Boros Charmed. I don't know.
Okay, so both the Caverns are naming Humans. That play is a little bit curious to me.
Yeah.
Any of these events, please come up and see me.
This whole match might just be over our heads.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I really think that this is just a result of both players are playing so very quickly. And I think, you know, Adam, we saw him on camera once already today, and he looks like this is the pace that he always plays, and maybe he has tricked Darren into playing at this fast of a pace as well by him playing at that, which is something that does happen at high-level Magic tournaments. As you see Acidic Slime coming across here into the frontline medic. But again, this is a situation, I think, when Darren goes back and watches this replay, that he'll realize the things that he's done wrong here. You see a Kessig Wolf Run activation. And that's going to be 4/4, 6 damage total.
So it looks like he's setting up Block Slip here.
There's your Champion of the Parish into an Oblivion Ring to take care of the Acidic Slime. And now Frontline Medic is going to come across. So we do know, that, again, that Darren's hand is double Tragic Slip, so he can simply go slip your Champion of the Parish, slip your Frontline Medic, your board is clear, and then try to take things over with the Arbor Elf plus the Kessig Wolf Run. So there is a Tragic Slip. But now he can't take care of the other one.
I was going to say, why not Block Slip there and do it the other way? Save 3 life, and you assuredly kill the thing. Oh, I guess the Arbor Elf, now that his Acidic Slime got Oblivion Ring, Arbor Elf is his only threat with Wolf Run. You just try and get him dead. That makes sense. Like, if Adam hadn't played his Oblivion Ring pre-combat, I'm pretty sure Darren blocks and slips there.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, he's been playing kind of scared of Medic all match, and that was like a perfect spot to kill Medic.
Fiend Hunter off the tap from Adam takes care of the Arbor Elf. We know that Darren's card is just a Tragic Slip, so he needs to draw something that does something right now, and he draws a Blood Crypt to go along with this Tragic Slip.
Wow. This game is off the rails.
And this is a game that, I mean, I think you would agree that we did not think Darren could lose.
Yeah.
And now you see an attack here for 4, Darren moving down to 8.
Yeah, a 2-turn clock.
And he just passes the turn back. Is
Another land?
Is 5 the correct life total? 5 is the correct life total.
Okay.
So 5 to 7, Darren draws a Dragon Skull Summon. And for some reason, I think that card in Adam's hand is a Restoration Angel.
Wow.
And I'm
Look
right?
at this. That's lethal.
So Restoration Angel is on the stack at the end of Darren's turn, and Darren, I think, is coming to the realization he cannot believe that he lost this game.
That was Darren digesting this rough loss.
Adam Liu with Naya Humans, Star City Games Open Series Indianapolis champion, has moved on to 7-0 again.